Do you ever wish you were blind? If not, then you probably haven't seen the beginning after the end yet. Apparently, this anime is the worst thing to ever happen in recorded history. This guy rated it a 10 and got hit with 300 laughing emojis, so I'm assuming this is some ass, but I guess we'll see. Episode 1. So I guess the main character used to be a king, and you know what they say, the pen is mightier than the sword. But 1,000 bomber planes are even mightier than that. So the kingdom gets dunked on by modern technology, and the king is reincarnated as a baby. Yeah, it's an isekai, but you should have known that already just from the title of this video. Alright, this is basically just a reskin of Mushoku Tensei. We've got the goofy dad who wants to teach his kids sword fighting, the hot mom who uses healing magic, and the child who takes an interest in reading and even scratches his butt at the same time Rudius does. I guess the only major difference between Arthur and Rudius is that Arthur reacts to the situation more realistically. He's kind of in disbelief about the whole thing, and he's farting and shitting everywhere like a normal baby, while Rudius, on the other hand, was just immediately horny and wanted to fuck his own mom. Anyway, Arthur tries using magic and ends up damaging the house because guess what? He's a child prodigy, and now his parents want to get him a tutor. All of that happened to Rudius as well, by the way. So aside from being a one-for-one copy of Mushoku Tensei, the first episode wasn't bad. I was expecting this to be a lot worse, but so far I'd probably give it like a 6 or a 7. Nothing special, but it seems fine so far. Maybe episode 2's where it starts to get bad. Okay, so the main character used to be a brutal king. He just made a guy watch while he cut the throats of his wife and child, and then he made the guy tell him thank you. That was fucking crazy, and I'm a lot more invested now. I hope the rest of the episode is just like this. And he's pooping again. Alright, finally Arthur's going on a journey now. We just met a bunch of new characters. Some of them look interesting. I already know which one I would smash. And okay, maybe this didn't need to be CGI, but not a big deal. ReZero has CGI too. Oh shit, here we go boys. Our first fight scene. This is gonna be insane. Oh, she's about to do something crazy. Oh, it's just a slideshow. Well, that was just for the wolves. I bet they're saving the animation budget for a real fight scene like this one. Oh, nope. They're probably saving it for the next one. Look at them go! Riding in a carriage, but they won't show us the carriage. They do not want to show us this carriage, guys. They will show everything but the carriage. Oh, look, there it is! Alright, be honest. What has more frames? This entire fight, or the scene from Mushoku Tensei where Rudius was jacking off?
ただの独り言だよ。
I tried to be fair, guys. I really wanted to be that YouTuber who says, hey, this actually isn't that bad. But it is. You can't even get invested in the story because the animation is so bad that it breaks the immersion. Every action sequence is just the character preparing to attack, and then it skips ahead to the result of the attack every time. They won't even animate an arrow shooting from a bow. It's like the studio lost a bet, or someone double dog dared them not to animate anything. The whole show just feels like a 14-year-old artist on Twitter could have made a better adaptation in 10 minutes. So we're gonna make fun of this a little bit. We're gonna talk about what may have caused this tragedy to occur, and maybe I'll recommend something for you to watch instead at the end. But first, this video is sponsored by Azur Lane. Do you like anime, but you also like RPGs and 2D shooters? Well, Azur Lane is a mix of all of that, and it's available for free on both iOS and Android. The primary gameplay loop is a side-scroller naval combat where you can form a flotilla with up to 6 different ships, and sometimes I play it just for the loading screens. I just wish they would load a bit slower. Honestly, the waifus kinda go crazy in this game, I'm not gonna lie. I can't even count how many there are. And in the new patch, they just added 6 more. A Rose on the High Tower is Azur Lane's newest event, and 2 of the 6 new characters are ultra rare quality. You can pull for them in the limited construction pool, or for a limited time only, you can even get a free UR voucher to unlock Trafalgar, a brand new ultra rare character. They also added 9 new skins, including 4 new live 2D skins. Oh shit. Whoa. In the next patch, they should make her move the curtains. And they did. I bet you're glad you didn't skip this ad now, because this right here is at least a gigabyte of jiggle physics. Download Azur Lane right now with my link in this video's description. It's free, there's a lot of new content for you to explore, and some additional free rewards as well. Thank you again to Azur Lane for sponsoring this video. Alright, so I gave this anime a fair shot and watched all 7 episodes that are currently out, and I could only find one action scene that looked good. King Gray's sword fight in episode 1 was acceptable. I wouldn't even call it good, actually. It was just the normal quality of animation you would expect from a sword fight. And then after that, every single fight scene is just a compilation of still images that could have been made on PowerPoint. Either that, or they just cover the screen in visual effects to mask the lack of animation. And I do like these kind of visual effects when used in moderation, but not when they're bukakied all over my face like this. TBATE's environment also just feels lifeless and dead, like nothing moves. Everyone is just frozen stiff like bugged NPCs, and it honestly feels more like a manga than an anime. And it's not even a good manga because the art sucks too. Look at this wolf. What the fuck is that? The use of CGI is pretty weird and disruptive as well. Normally, CGI is used for large monsters that are difficult to draw in motion, but this anime uses it for still images because they're actually just too lazy to draw shit. And look at this character's mouth. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Like, in all the history of bad adaptations, they still animated the mouth flaps correctly. But this is just a new low. It sucks because the story is actually pretty interesting. Like, you can tell that it had tremendous potential. This anime could have been really fucking good, but they just refuse to animate it. And I know some people are gonna say, oh, is animation really that important? Yes, it is. It's called anime. If you didn't want to animate it, why didn't you just let it stay a novel in a webcomic? Or wait for a better studio to animate it instead? I think the answer is probably money. Yeah, so it sounds like what happened was the author was given an offer from Crunchyroll to have a small studio animate his story, and the director of the studio claimed to be a fan of the author's work, so I guess they kinda rizzed him up until he signed the contract. But as you can see, the studio basically scammed the author. They took his story and essentially sacrificed it for money. It's like throwing an AK in the recycler. I've been playing a lot of Rust recently, in case you're wondering why you still haven't got that tier list video. The author did put out a very carefully worded Reddit post though. And obviously guys, he isn't allowed to bash Crunchyroll. He is contractually forbidden from saying anything negative about the adaptation, but if you read between the lines here, he's basically saying that he's disappointed too, and he's clearly trying to distance himself from the anime adaptation as well. However, while I do feel bad for him, I also think he does bear some of the responsibility too, because he's the one who gave this studio the reins, and just one look at their resume would show you that this studio has the poop touch. Everything they touch turns to shit. We've got consistent 5s and even some 4s. I've never seen a 4. Any studio with multiple 4s just needs to disband. Their current high score is a 6.75, and I actually watched this one, and yeah, it was pretty entertaining, but if that's your studio's magnum opus, I probably wouldn't trust you to adapt my novel into an anime. So realistically guys, I think the author probably knew there was a good chance this adaptation would be trash, but they probably offered him a fat fucking bag, and I can't blame him. I would have done the exact same thing, and you probably would have as well. How else are we supposed to tip our landlords in this economy? Despite all the bad animation though, I am still invested in the story. I actually thought the Elf Girl arc was mostly watchable, and I think the main character's backstory from his previous life is pretty interesting too. So I think I have no choice but to read the novel now. I'll probably start with the webcomic actually, but as for the anime, I think I'm done. I'm probably gonna drop this now. I think I've seen enough. If you're looking for a similar anime to watch, obviously Mushoku Tensei is the best option unless the creepy stuff is too much for you. Otherwise, you might like the Faraway Paladin instead. And of course, as always, motherfucking ReZero, but you've probably seen that already. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna make the tier list soon. I'll stop playing fucking video games right after I beat Expedition 33. Alright, love you guys. What is my outro? It's been a while. See you next time or something. Peace out.